It's time to talk technical indicators and what I not believe, and I don't say this in a cocky way, but in a very factual way, is the number one stock trading technical indicator that matters the most and that you need to be using. And this doesn't necessarily pertain to only stocks, but no matter what you're trading, whether that options, contracts, Forex, futures, crypto, this indicator is definitely the most important and needs to always be at the core of any sort of trading system or trading strategy. And again, I don't say this in an arrogant way, but this is just very factual. This is how it has to be. Now, to set this up, let me just go through, and I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence, but let's just consider how a trade works. So we have somebody, and they want to enter, right? So let's change this to enter. Now, what do they want to enter? Well, they want to enter a trade. It could be a stock. It could be a futures contract. It could be, crypto. I mean, it could be anything, but they want to enter. So the question becomes, okay, well, how does this person enter? Well, and like I said, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. The answer would be, well, they need to buy, right? So that's the first part of the trade. If you want to enter into something, you need to buy. So everything goes on, the trade plays out or whatever, and then they decide, we'll just go right here. Well, now what? They want to exit. So nothing fancy, they just want to get out of the trade. Now, what actually needs to happen in order for this to be able to all play out? In other words, well, yes, we know that they want to exit, and you exit by selling. But there's something going on here that needs to be in place. What do you need to sell? Well, you need other buyers, right? You need somebody that you can sell to, that is willing to buy. And if you don't have somebody that is willing to buy, or there's very few people willing to buy, well, you know what? It's going to be really, really hard to exit. It's going to be really, really hard to sell. This part up here, never a problem. You can enter into anything you want. There's always somebody willing to sell. But when it comes to this next part, when it's time to exit the trade, if you're not careful, if you don't know what to look for, if you're not factoring this into your trade plan, your trade strategy, your trade system, whatever you want to call it, there's no guarantees that these people are going to be out there. And if those people aren't out there, guess what? You can't sell. And if you can't sell, what does that mean? Well, you literally cannot exit the trade. Now, as far as indicators are concerned, this is what is known as volume. Now, I apologize if you thought that this was going to be some sort of like Fibonacci sequence, pi r squared type indicator that I just came up with a supercomputer. No, volume. The most important of anything. And that's a fact. Why? Because, well, let's say that some of you say, well, no, Clay, price. That's literally the most important indicator. What is a price doing? And that's true to an extent. But I've seen plenty of examples where you'll look at a stock or something like, oh, wow, that thing's up 400%. But then you go and look, and maybe, have you ever noticed this? In fact, I'd encourage you, go to any sort of scanner and screener out there and organize things by volume, and then look over the percentages, and you'll see some insane percentages that stocks have moved. But then when you look at the volume, it's on 100 shares, 500 shares, maybe 5,000 shares. And from a volume perspective, yeah, the price, sure, it moved some sort of massive amount, but from a very practical point of view, that doesn't mean that there is any sort of actual money-making opportunities because, again, yeah, people probably bought that caused it to go up, but when it comes to those time for those people to exit the trade and get out, well, have fun trying to find somebody to actually buy the share so that you can sell. So you need to always be focused on volume because this is what's going to tell you how easy it's going to be or difficult it's going to be when it's time to exit. Once again, I really want to reiterate, volume doesn't matter when it comes to this part right here. You can always buy. There's always somebody willing to sell you. But when it comes to exit, you better make sure that volume checks out. Now, what is the right amount of volume? What is, is there a minimum? Is there a maximum? And that's where things vary all over the place. But I've seen it way too many times, and I did it before too. And honestly, every now and then I still catch myself going, whoa, Clay, take a step back, buddy. Check out the volume first. You almost got into something where the volume's just not that good. It's going to make your system, it's going to make your strategy very difficult to make work because the volume's still there. So I don't say this in the sense of, it's one of those things that just hides in plain sight, where people get wrapped up in MACDs and RSIs and Bollinger Bands and Fibonacci's and all these cool sounding indicators, Elliott waves, and they forget to even check volume. So they're applying all these other indicators out there, but because they didn't check volume and the volume is really low volume meaning there's just very few buyers out there, well, who cares what everything else says? You're gonna have a very difficult time exiting the trade because you didn't get the volume right. So always make sure you are looking at the volume. And I realize, like I said, this may seem very anticlimactic. What a clickbait video. But no, this is a fact, because from a very, very literal point of view, like I said, you need to have volume. You need to have buyers out there so that when you want to exit, you can actually exit from the trade. So keep an eye on volume. And volume, the good thing here is that from a default standpoint, any technical chart is always going to have volume included on it. I guess I can't say always, but I would venture to guess 95% of the time, volume will already be included. But the thing that can get tricky, and that sometimes people either don't pay attention to or forget to check, is you got to make sure there's a market. There's volume in whatever you're looking to trade. So this is by far the number one most important technical indicator that matters, whether you're trading stocks or Forex or futures or crypto. Make sure that there's somebody out there so that you're going to be able to exit the trade in a very efficient way when you are ready. If you have any other questions on this, please leave those down in the comment section below and let me know. Hey, have you ever forgot to check the volume on a trade, and then all of a sudden you get yourself in a situation where it's kind of like, this is going to be a little difficult here? Like I said, I've done that before. I almost did it last week, actually. I almost got into a trade, but I didn't. Wait a second, Clay. What's going on with volume here? And I ultimately decided that no, that's just not going to work out. So, like I said, you're not alone, but you got to make sure you check this volume thing because, and like I said, leave them in the comment section below because maybe brand new people are like, no, Clay, this is clickbait. That's so basic. Volume's not that important. It's all about the MACD and stuff. Just like I said, leave comments down below for people if you've had any bad experiences with not checking volume, and hopefully we can all help each other out by letting people know that, yeah, if you're not aware of this, bad things can happen. So leave those comments down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and would like for me to keep on making these. And then also check out the channel as a whole, and hopefully you decided to subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.